Hello everyone, I'm Nishal here, and my topic for today is breastfeeding and lactation. Since all of you have talked already about a lot of conception, pre-pregnancy, post-pregnancy, I think this would be the last topic, and then the phase of the baby and infant goes for the mother. So for the new mother, we'll talk about just could you please tell me how to go to the next slide from here? Okay, got it. So before we begin, I would like to thank you, Nutan ma'am, for taking me so late and allowing me, even though I missed my few classes. And the knowledge you have given me was just a different experience for me, because you have given me more than what I expected, and you have just filled my bag of knowledge with a lot of wisdom. I'm also thankful to each one of you that you are sparing your time today for viewing my slides and taking your time out for my thing. Also for my both sets of parents who have supported me throughout. My husband, who almost is not meeting me most of the time because I'm not available due to my and his schedules are very different. For God, thank you to the God for giving me everything that is very basic but needed for my life to run. And for my previous gurus and teachers from whom I've learned yoga from 1 decade. So today we'll talk about mother's milk, breastfeeding and lactation. Mother's milk is also known as liquid love, and it was also known as the golden liquid. Breastfeeding, lactation, and yoga for healthy lactation we'll talk about. So as per WHO, what is breastfeeding has been mentioned on my slide. So whatever important nutrients are required for the baby, that comes from mother's milk. Why is breastfeeding and lactation a different term? Because the milk that is fed through breast is known as breastfeeding. Although lactating woman is also same, but there are chances that she might not be able to breastfeed them. So that is breastfeeding, from which we receive all the important nutrients. Now we'll understand through the anatomy of lactating breast. If you all can see my cursor moving, this is areola, which is the dark portion around the nipple. The nipple has wide openings, multiple openings. There is milk duct through which the milk passes from the mother's nipple to the baby's mouth. Then there are milk producing glands, which are also known as alveoli. It is a grape-like tissue and secretes the milk in it and passes through milk duct and through baby. The milk supply is like give and take process. The more the demand, how much you supply, the demand, it's like demand and supply. It increases accordingly and decreases accordingly. If one stops breastfeeding, the milk supply will become less. If one increases it, it will become more. Now we will talk about the composition of breast milk. There are certain things that are in there, which has been mentioned, like water, protein, carbs, many important antibodies, other immune cells, hormones, and vitamins and minerals. So we'll just talk in gist about how vitamins help. Vitamins help for preventing diseases for the baby, infants. Enzymes, which are there inside, helps in building and supporting immune system. Hormones, they are still studying about it, but they say that the leptin in the milk of mothers helps in growing factors. But there are still certain hormones that has to be talked about, like thyroid hormones and diabetes 2, type 2 diabetes, but they still are studying on the same. When we talk about the antibodies, they are very much important from this milk, because the main antibody that we receive is immunoglobulin, which is IgA. It also coats baby's lung and prevents them from this outside infections that happens. So these antibodies are required, also fight against common cold and diarrhea. Proteins, again, they helps in forming enzymes, hormones, and antibodies. When we talk about carbohydrates, they form healthy bacteria in baby's body, baby's intestines. Now we'll talk about the few stages of breast milk. Recently, I came to know when I was studying about this project that that few people also try to express this breast milk. This is very new term for me. Where they do take the colostrum before the baby is delivered, and then they feed it to baby on the once they take the birth. Now, what is colostrum? It is the day 1 to 4 milk, which is very thick and yellowish in color, and it has lot of high. It is very high in protein and a lot of things which are required and very important for the baby if it gets consumed. So they usually try breastfeeding in the first 2 hours when the baby takes birth. As well as, like we talked in previous slide, antibodies helps in baby passive immunity to the baby. Then we talk about transitional milk after the first 4 days. From day 5 to day 20, we get a transitional milk, which would be high in fat, and the previous milk was high in protein. This contains more calories than the colostrum. And then we talk about the mature milk, which is the final milk that is produced, and it is 90% of water, but still it would have carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. And the color also changes as per the type of the milk changes. Certain positions for feeding the baby. So if the mother is going through C-section, then there are certain positions that she might not be comfortable in the beginning because she would have been going through stitches and severe pain. Then she would be doing it laying down, side laying hold, or maybe rugby hold. For breastfeeding positions, when it is done through vaginal delivery, might be the mother would be comfortable in many positions, since there would be lesser chance of there would be very few stitches. So these are the positions that have been mentioned that mother can apply while doing breastfeeding when it is a vaginal delivery. It's laid back position, side lying, football hold, cross cradle, and cradle position. Going to the next slide, why we would be giving importance more towards breastfeeding is that mother is fed. It creates emotional bond, lowers the risk of postpartum depression, helps in releasing the stress, reduces the chances of ovarian cancer for mother, also burns extra calories, saves money, and helps in contraception and protection. For babies, it would be, of course, definitely for providing strong immune system, for right amount of baby's growth, helps in ear infection, pneumonia, and asthma. And if you feed the baby through breast milk, there are less chances to go to the doctor. Certain foods that we will be talking about, better milk supply, are that has been mentioned here is fennel seed, flaxseed, oats, hummus, yogurt, papaya, water, fennel seeds, rice, oil, everything that is fat in nature with good fats would be helpful in producing more milk in mother's body. Sometimes if a mother goes through a process, because the mother is new, and if she goes through the process where she's not being able to produce enough milk, or she's having certain problem in feeding the baby, there are few things she should need to be taking care of. She should drink more water, nurse frequently to the baby, get a skin to skin connection with the baby so that baby gets accustomed with her breast, eat more green and leafy vegetables, which is iron rich food. They should compress their hands on the breast and while gently doing gently during the feeding. They should take good rest. The good rest helps in relaxing them, and then simultaneously helps in later process of producing a better milk. And then less supplementing and pumping after nursing. Check the latch, which is one of the good things that I found, that few people are not comfortable to take a lactation consultant. But I think if there is a problem, they should, on the right time, they should go through a lactation consultant and approach if something is not going well for them. Certain things that decreases breast milk is smoking, too much of caffeine intake, which is coffee, or maybe some alcoholic drinks, or maybe some beverages like Red Bull, something which is very high in caffeine. Then ignoring your health, not taking good rest, not watching your diet, and taking certain medications which are not supposed to taken postnatal. So this certain basic things which everybody knows, but still should be taken care of. There are certain affirmations which I found very impressive when I like my few friends are pregnant and they just have four or 3 months baby, and they are going through process of tough time of latching in the milk, which I just got to know yesterday. So I thought of telling them this, but before that I was just occupied in making this. So yes, these are the good affirmatives that mother can keep repeating. It's just something that they can put it in part of their routine and they use this, so it helps them in making a positive mindset, and that it becomes more easy for mom and baby to uh, for baby to latch the milk, and for mom to make the milk supply properly. These are few facts. Then there is nothing to do with the breast size, that the amount of milk is produced. Almost 3/4 of mother produce more milk with their right breast. That is the fact. And baby is not only taking the breastfeeding milk just for hunger, but sometimes they're bored, they need comfort, they are thirsty or even lonely, so they would try to take a breast milk. All mothers have unique scent of their breast milk, and it changes the taste as per your diet. There are certain yogas for lactation. I think many of them have been already covered in prenatal and postnatal yoga, but anything which stretches your upper torso, that opens your rib cages, helps you in expanding your lungs. This will help you simultaneously in increasing oxygen flow and blood flow towards that portion, which will other way around help in increasing the production of milk. So we'll not go deeper in this. These are few asanas: Balasana, Surya Namaskar, and rest of the asana, which you all know. Thank you so much.